about nail tech profit planning. What do you need to make in order to make sure you're making money? And what do you need to track it? Let's figure it out. All right. So today we're going to understand the importance of profit planning, which means figuring out our numbers. Profit provides freedom, peace of mind, and it helps your creativity flow. And if you know anything about creativity, money helps it move faster. We're going to look at the essential metrics that we need to track, our weekly income and expense analysis, and the monthly and annual financial goals. Okay? So let's go over what we're looking at. Our weekly revenue tracking is we're going to monitor our earnings every single week to make sure that we're on point. We're going to look at our monthly totals, and we're going to find out our client and profit analysis number. Let's head over to our spreadsheet, and we're going to calculate our weekly revenue. And why is this important? Because if we know how much we make on a weekly level, and we know how much we make on a monthly level, and we know how much we're spending and setting out, we can always make sure that we're at the profit that we need in order to function like an adult. Honestly, that's really what it is. You need to be able to cover your business expenses, your living expenses, and have some left over to put in a retirement account. That's really it. And I'm going to put the link down for this worksheet down below. And if you don't have a retirement account, at least talk to like your bank or something, or like a Fidelity, or get a high yield savings account, and I'll put the link to the one that I use down there as well. Now in this sheet, we're going to put our what we make weekly. Now I actually only work 4 days a week, so that means I'm only filling out the profit planner, the revenue expenses sheet for Tuesday through Friday, because I do not work on Saturday. And I'm going to put the supplies, the rent, the business taxes, and everything else in to show exactly how much we're spending in relation to how much we're earning. So based on this, if you put in what you make per day, and this is just a whole number, right? Because you still have fees that's going to come out of it for processing and things like that. If you took a Square loan or anything, those fees will come out, but it's still good to see how much you're bringing in on a daily basis. So your spreadsheet, I want you to put your rent, your supplies, internet, business insurance, retirement savings, emergency fund. Yes, you should have an emergency fund. Your business phone, and your business taxes. I put taxes at $1,000 just because you never know. For the business, for the retirement savings, I actually made it 10% of whatever you generate for the month, and you can break that down to weekly paying it into your high yield savings account if you want to, but I definitely suggest you putting money up for your retirement and not touching it, not for nothing else, not for your kids, not to go buy a new car, not to buy nail supplies when you're feeling them down. This is specifically for retirement. And then we have an emergency fund number, and I actually made that 5% of what you're making every month, because you have to have an emergency fund just in case something crazy come on. So I have personal disability insurance, and that personal disability insurance is covered in my personal budget, which is not, it's covered by my nail business money, but it's covered in the personal budget side of it. That personal business insurance will pay me, I think it's like Aflac or something, but it will pay me if I can't work. Like if I'm on disability, I gotta get a surgery or something, it will cover my living expenses while I'm off recuperating, right? So the emergency fund would be the same general thing. It's gonna cover if you can't work for a while because you're injured, or maybe you got to take care of a family member. It's for emergencies only. All right. So if we look at our worksheet here, we're going to see our total revenue was $10,242, and our total business expenses was $4,187. Now these are just phone numbers that I made up to put in here. But typically on average I'm at like $500 a day, unless some client cancels or something like that. And I see about four people per day, give or take, So $4,187 was our business expenses, and our total profit after all of that is actually $1,867. Now you're probably thinking like, well, why is it that? Well, we're paying $1,000 a month in taxes, and we're also paying $1,000 a month into our retirement. So that is money that we get to get, like the retirement money. We just don't get it for a while. And it's very important to pay yourself first, like over and above your kids. Like we want to make sure everybody's straight, blah blah. Pay yourself first. Putting money into your retirement is paying yourself first. So that 1,867 is what you would have to maneuver and cover like life expenses, so rent, blah blah blah. Now this can be more if you reduce some other stuff. So maybe for business taxes, you only need to pay $500 or $600 every quarter. You don't need to pay $1,000 a month, so you can make that, knock that number down. But I just like to put the most extreme case so you can see how your money will fluctuate as far as what you get to take home, and then you also get to see like how hard do you really actually need to work to make the money that you want. So after we do that, let's calculate our yearly. It's important to know what your yearly is. If you end up getting the worksheet that I'm linking down below in the description for this yearly workbook page, I definitely want you to make a copy and then put 2025, 2026. So every single year you have a tracker and you just make a copy of this one that's already got all the formulas in it, and that makes your life easier. Okay, once you figure out like your weekly number, your monthly number, and you calculate your savings target, you want to allocate those funds every single week. So if every month I'm trying to save $1,000, you could technically send $250 a week to your retirement savings account, right? Like I'm not sending the whole $1,000 at the beginning of the month. I technically haven't even made all the money back, right? I have only made whatever I made for the first week of the month. So you break it down into smaller pieces. You want to calculate your usable profit. So your actual usable profit would be the $1,800. So that'll be yours to cover, your own personal living expenses. But the goal is to make sure you have even more available. So how would I get more money if I didn't want to add more days? You can add retail. You can add affiliate marketing. Like if you're doing stuff on Amazon and you're selling for different things, you could do that. You also want to calculate, you want to have monthly goals. So seeing exactly what you're doing every month will help you like, oh, okay, I need to book 3 or 4 more clients, or you need to upsell clients more nail art. If you don't want to try to build a huge clientele, then what you're going to have to do is upsell the current clientele even more. So cuticle oils, hand scrubs, like all these little things will help increase your revenue without increasing your clientele. Have your daily income goals figured out. Like in video number 2, in video number 2 of the series, I went over specifically how much it costs you to operate in your salon suite. After you know that it costs you $71 to operate in a day, then every single thing after that is going to be profit. So let's move on to getting more profit. When you're tracking your goals, you do want to make sure that you're setting clear goals that are, I don't want to say easy to reach, but you want to make a little stretch. You want to make it a little bit difficult because you're trying to get to the next level. And getting to the next level means that you can't be as comfortable as you are doing this mediocre nail work. We know our weekly revenue, our weekly expenses. We can accurately track how much we're spending. You can always reduce spending by not buying as many products. If you don't need that much new stuff, or you don't need every single new collection that come out, use what you have. If you don't need everything that comes out, don't buy it, because the whole point of the business is to make money, which means we need to stop overspending in our business. That is the number one reason I came up with the tracking sheets, because I was buying any and everything, and honestly I wasn't even making money off of every single thing. I get this little weird thing where I just like, I like to shop, and liking to shop is fantastic. However, I'm taking money out of my business, out of my actual own pocket, to buy stuff that I'm not even using and getting a return on that investment. So the tracker was introduced, and now I know exactly how much I'm spending. I know exactly how much I'm making. And those weekly income summaries and the weekly sales targets help me stay on track with hitting those numbers. You set your goal and you look at it weekly, you are more apt to achieve it because you can see it visually. Okay, now with all of the numbers that I put in as far as the percentage that's going to savings and the percentage that's going to taxes, you can play with those numbers a little bit. Where you can reduce your costs is in buying supplies. Where you can increase your revenue is in adding more clients or increasing the price. You increase your service price, you will generate more income with less clients, right? So this is one thing that I do when I like the week before I have this group of clients, what I'll do is I'll look at opportunities on the schedule. So if I see a client, and typically every now and again she'll get a pedicure, if I want to make a little bit more money that week, I'll text her and be like, hey, I had a slot after you that we can do a pedicure one if you want to. And I think the last time we did a gel pedicure on you was XYZ date. Did you want to add one, or are you good? They'll tell me yes or no. So they'll add a pedicure. I never offer any discounts when it comes to it. All I do is say, listen, I have additional time for another service. Do you want to add it? So then I go from making $500 that day to making $600 because I added an $85, $95 pedicure onto their service, and I know I'm going to have to build out the toenails. And then another way I can do it is, you know what, the last time you bought cuticle oil was 3 or 4 weeks ago, because you can write everything in their client files on Square. Last time you bought cuticle oil, it should be time for you for a refill. So then I'll refill their cuticle oil and charge them $5 or $6 more, and that's it. All of it ends up adding up. Tracking your appointments, tracking the revenue that you're going to make for each day, actually gives each appointment a purpose and each appointment a dollar amount, and it makes you more cognizant of how much you're generating. So make sure you're tracking your progress. Once you set, like, the real reason for the sheets and everything is so that you can set clear, achievable goals. If you see how much you can potentially make just by playing with the numbers, then you see your mind starts to working like, oh, well, I can add this, this, and this. That also changes your marketing, because what you're going to do is you're going to market to clients that are willing to pay that price. There are clients that are looking for crazy nail art nails. There are clients that are looking for press-ons that have XYZ characters. There are clients that want anime nails. I mean, you even have a whole nother nail market with the males that want nails. You got guys that want male gel and manicures. You got guys that want drag queen nails. Like, there's so many opportunities to generate additional revenue by offering press-ons, by offering retail. And once you put numbers into the spreadsheet and actually see how it works, then your mind will start working like, oh, so this is how I can add an additional $20 a day. If you add $20 a day and you work 5 days a week, that's an additional $100 in that week, additional $400 that month. So say you made $5,500 usually a month, now you at $59. You can't use the extra $400? Fine, must be great to be you. But all I'm saying is, if you track your numbers, your business will make money, because you're physically looking at it every day and you're trying to obtain that goal number. You got to remember that you're doing this for yourself. If you don't do it for nobody else, you should definitely be doing it for yourself. My name is Chloe. I'm the Nail Techs Coach. I'm Glam Nails 210. I'm Glam Goodies. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm always trying to drop the gems on how you can make more money, do better nail art, not have to add a ton of clients, and enjoy doing nails. I'm going to promise you one thing and one thing only. If you make more money, you'll be happier in your life. That's it. The more money I make, the happier I am. And I'm already happy. So the more money I make without having to do a ton of extra work, the happier I am. Share this video with another nail tech who might be struggling right now, because I know they're out there. I've seen them on Facebook and I've seen them in the Reddit groups, and no nail tech should be struggling. The service that we provide, there'll never be a robot to do it. At least it won't be in the next 5 years. So go ahead to make your money off of doing nails. People are going to complain whether you're doing it fantastic, whether you're doing it terrible, or whether you're doing it at all. Bye, and I'll talk to you later.